Good morning. I'm in Forest Grove in Oregon, and I'm at my sister's house today, and this is the view that we have this morning. It's absolutely fabulous. There's a rainbow there just coming up over the hill with the nice clouds just touching the tops of the mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous here. My plan is to be here for about a week working on the step van, doing the basic mechanical maintenance to make it roadworthy to drive back to Austin, Texas, and also hopefully to put in a floor and do some basic insulation. A few people have asked for a tour and some more information about the step van that I just purchased for my conversion project. So I thought I'd take a few minutes today and talk a little bit about the vehicle. This is a 1996, so it's a little bit older. I was looking for the sweet years of 1994 to 2002, specifically for the Cummins 5.9, because it's ideal for converting over to waste vegetable oil. And these are recommendations by my friend Giuseppe for the ideal vehicle for that. So I really wanted to get in this sweet spot year. 1996 is perfect. One of the things I really like about the step van is the access to the engine here, that it has the longer nose on it with really easy access on both sides. And it does have the doghouse, which is traditional to vans, on the inside, but a lot more space around it to access it with the release here. So that's pretty cool. It has a Cummins 5.9 in it, which I guess is a really rock solid engine. And then it has an Allison transmission. It's a 4-speed, and I'm not exactly sure of the model on that. I'm going to have a mechanic looking at it here in about 2 or 3 days, and they'll pull out an actual fluid sample from the transmission and send it into a lab to do some tests and see what's going on with that. You can see the top of it, that it has the orange little circular light, the rotating light on the top of it. And this apparently was used as a service vehicle for other diesel trucks in a fleet. And it has a pretty low mileage on it. Bootstrap, when he sold it and when they looked at it and sent the mileage to me, said it had 100,000 miles listed on the odometer. They thought it was probably higher than that. Looking at the odometer now, I see the last digit is actually a white digit, which is tenths of a mile. So the odometer reading as it is right now is a little bit over 10,000 miles. I don't know if that's the original 10,000 miles or if the odometer maybe is 310,000 miles. Have no idea, but it's sort of exciting in my head to think that maybe I have a vehicle from 1996 that only has 10,000 miles on it. I have no idea. Like most step vans, this step van has no air conditioning in it. Only some of the other models that are used for maybe bread trucks or possibly like the Snap-on truck has air conditioning in it, and that unit is usually mounted up here or sometimes in the back. This particular one has a button on the dash for air conditioning, but I don't see any unit here. It does have a heat unit down below over there, and it has a fan here. It's possible that that switch there controls the fan, but I'm not sure. My windshield wipers are out right now, so I've got to do some troubleshooting and see if I'm getting power up to this point, to this motor, or if the motor's dead. So that's some of the things that I'm going to be working on today. It does have the 2 doors on it on both sides. When I purchased the vehicle and did the little tour, I talked about the ceiling being slightly lower. Well, there's a reason for that. This particular ceiling here is actually just an aluminum sheet, and behind it there's insulation. So there's about probably 2 inches worth of insulation. You can see right here the distance in the gap between the true rooftop and the gap that's here for the insulation. So I'm going to be removing this panel here and redoing the insulation in the roof, and it'll probably go back to this original height once I'm finished, so that I'm still able to easily walk around in here, and that's still plenty of height for me. I've got a good 2 or 3 inches above my head after the insulation is in. I have some plumbing going back here, going across. I'll be removing all of that, and for some reason this light is put here in the back, apparently for loading or working on things at night when they're servicing other vehicles. Has a set of double doors with small windows in it. The doors do not extend all the way to the edges, which would be my ideal, what I would really like to see. Sometime in the future, I'll hope to find a fabricator to help me put double doors, barn doors, to go all the way across. But I'm sure this is just so you can open this door and have it be flat on the back and not go out into traffic or into a freeway or something like that. So it's probably just for convenience and safety for those who are driving, and the shelves are here so you wouldn't really need to open it all the way up like a moving truck. One of the things I really like about these step vans is the easy access to the engine. You can get into this side of the engine fairly easily. You can almost even get into the back end without getting into the doghouse area. It does have some insulation here around the doghouse, which is nice. I just need to go into the gasket right where the gap is between the floor and redo that gasket a little bit so that it seals a little bit more. Got a little bit of work to do. I think it's missing a little front for this hose here and possibly for this one here. But the engine looks really clean. Just really minimal rust. I mean, this is the absolute worst on the rust in the engine here. But you can see it's super clean. There's no fluids leaking around. It just is spectacular in here. It does look like I have one slight leak off of the cap here, dripping down onto the top of the radiator for the coolant. I think that's pretty easy, just swap out and get a new cap, or look at the seal here on this hose, find out which one of these it's leaking from, right onto that point. So that should be an easy fix. I should mention I'm not a mechanic type. This is something that I'm passionate about, is I want to learn how to do all my own mechanics. I'm really a book nerd, a computer geek, and a traveler. But this is something that's been a long time passion for me, is to learn about auto mechanics and be able to maintain and work on my own vehicles. So that's something that I'll be doing over the next few years, is learning how to do everything myself that I possibly can on this vehicle. That's all I have for this episode and for the tour of my step van prior to my conversion build. Thank you for watching. Savor the moment, be happy, pursue your passions. See you next episode.